Oops. Alright guys, so we're going to get started actually building our website. Now this part of the series will show you how to build a website using WordPress. WordPress is like a template or a base structure which you can use to build your website. So instead of having to code it, what WordPress does is it gives you a structure where you can download different themes and install them on your website, so you don't have to actually do any coding. And for extra features, you can use plugins. So whatever plugins that you might need, whatever features you might need on your website, you can easily get them through the WordPress themes or plugins. And I'll explain that in just a moment. So the first thing that you're going to need to actually get your website up and running is a domain name. Now a domain name is like having the rights to build a house, or the rights to a piece of land where you're going to build a house. For example, WordPress.org, that is their domain name. They have the rights to host a website on this particular domain name. The website that I like to buy my domain names from is Namecheap.com because, well, like their name, they're fairly cheap. They're like a no-frills service. You can just look up whatever domain name you'd like and just purchase them right off the bat. Now, a couple tips for getting a domain name. You want a domain name that's easy to remember. You also want to have something that's fun and catchy, but it shouldn't distract from what you're doing. In our case, let's say we want to make a website where we can display and sell art. You could use something like your name as the artist, so let's say richardpark.ca or richardpark.com, or you could use maybe your pseudonym like Richie Art Gallery, but you want to make it very to the point. I wouldn't go too far with branding it like super crazy unless that's already something you've established and that you have. So if you have a brand already, like, I don't know, Syllabus Art Galleries, then syllabusartgallery.com would be great. You just don't want to put in any like frilly extra words or anything like that, like Syllabus Best Art Gallery Online. You want to just make it very easy for people to remember and make it maybe a little fun too. So like if you're selling, if you want to sell jewelry, you could think of some silly puns or something like that where people can remember it better by, as opposed to just being a plain jewelry store. But again, just keep it simple, easy to remember. Those are the key things. As well, a lot of people wonder if they should get a .com, a .net, or .org. And what I've learned and been taught, and what I teach people as well, is that the first thing you should prioritize is the .com. So when you can get the .com, you want to get that, because .com is easily the most identifiable form of domain extension. Like everyone knows what a .com is, and it's just easier to remember. But if you can't get it, then .net would be your second choice. And if that's still hard to get, then you want to get the .org. Now in certain places like Canada, I think even China and Korea, they have like their own extension like .ca. In those cases, I would say your .ca comes after the .com. But all things being the same, you want to use the .com, the .net, and then the .org in that order. So let's say I just want to make my site Richard Park. Let's just look it up, Richard Park. You easily just search up the name and it'll tell you which ones are available. Now richardpark.com is currently being used. So is richardparkxyz .club, and it just gives you a list of these domain names that you could use and make your website on. Let's say we wanted to take sure, richardpark.today. Why not? Oh, looks like there's another one in my cart. You could just add it to your cart, view your cart, and confirm order. Just follow the steps, enter your information, and easily check out. And it's that simple. And then you'll have your first domain, which you've purchased and you have the rights to. Now, they may try to sell you all sorts of weird things over here. You really don't need them. You just want to buy the domain name, and that's it. There's no need to pay for things like that. You just want to have the rights to use the domain name. That is what's important. That's all you really have to purchase. Now, once you've actually purchased the domain, you'll be able to view it in, let me see here, your account. You can go to your dashboard, and it'll show you the list of domains that are active and that you have access to and the rights to use. Now, the domain is not the final step. After you've purchased the domain, you want to find a host, someone basically a domain is like a flat, empty lot, a piece of land you buy, and the host is the house. It's where actual meat and bones go. So the domain is just the rights. It's just the rights to the land. The host is like you actually building a house there. The host I prefer to use is Asmallorange. They're very reliable, really good customer service, and really cheap plans. For example, they have the startup business plan for $20 or the small shared plan for $5. Now, of course, as your sites get bigger and get more traffic, you're going to have to upgrade, but these are very cheap and affordable and reliable hosting service that makes it so that you don't have to spend like a lot of money to get your website up and running. To get your host, just click the View Plans, Buy Now. Choose which kind of cycle you want to use. Annually, you save money per month, or monthly. Where it says choose your domain, because we've already purchased a domain on Namecheap, in my case I'm going to use the richardpark.ca one as an example. Because I couldn't find the .com, I just bought the .ca. So richardpark.ca, you want to say I already own this domain. And you can just put in richardpark.ca. You don't want to transfer your domain. That means that instead of Namecheap managing your domain and having giving you the rights to use the domain, you'll transfer those rights to Asmallorange, and they'll basically hold on to it. This is not really necessary. You just want to say you already own the domain and you just want to get the hosting. So for the domain you use Namecheap, for the hosting you use Asmallorange. Just keep it that way. Just fill in your information. Again, these things like this you don't need. It's just extra stuff they're trying to sell you, and if you have a coupon or can find one, you just enter it here, confirm, and you'll have your domain set up. Now I've already got my domain purchased, so when I click Asmallorange it'll log me in, but it'll look something like this. Now that you have your domain and your host, we have to actually link them together. Because when you actually try to go into your website, for example mine's richardpark.ca, it's going to show up as there's going to be an error. You're going to see an error because the two are not linked together. So how do we link them together? Where it says active here, just click active and scroll down to down here where it says name servers. Okay. Now on your Namecheap, you want to go to manage, and where it says name servers, at first it'll say Namecheap basic DNS. You want to go to custom DNS and put in these two name server values over to Namecheap. Now it's going to take I've already gone and done this just to save time, but it will take usually takes about a couple minutes. It says up to 48 hours. I find it's a bit faster than that. It could take an hour or two for it the host and the domain name to actually link up. Once it's linked up, if you search the website, for example I have it opened right here, you'll see something like this. So now instead of seeing an error, you'll see index of, you'll just see a blank page. This means that your website and your hosting is linked up. That means that we can actually get started and using WordPress to build the website. So this is actually a good sign. Don't freak out if it's just a blank page. The good thing about Asmallorange is if you go down here, you want to click login to cPanel. So just to reiterate, when you log into Asmallorange, you'll see your products and services. Go to richardpark.ca. Oh, sorry, you don't click on the name, you click active. And you scroll down here, you go into the cPanel. So this is where you actually access your website. You won't need to use anything from Namecheap after you set up the name servers. All your website stuff will be done through Asmallorange. So you go to login to cPanel. For Asmallorange, they have something called Softaculous. I thought it was Softlicious. But anyway, Softaculous. This actually will install WordPress for you, which actually saves some time and headaches for those of you who are not that tech savvy. So once again, Softaculous. WordPress is right here. You can just click on it and install. So you just hit install now. Install now. And it says choose the protocol. So yeah, HTTP. your domain, in which directory. If you want it to be put on your main page, you just want to leave it blank. So this will install WordPress on your main page. Pick a site name, Richard Park. Oops. And site description. Let's say we're selling art, so gallery and shop. Or let's just say traditional art gallery. Now you want to set up also an admin account. This is what you'll use to log in through WordPress, and it might be confusing, but I'll show you in just a second. So we'll just use admin and pass. We'll just use the defaults. You may want to change yours. And just hit install. If you want to get your installation details, which you don't really need to, you can just hit install here, and it'll start installing. If you see this error, that means that, one second. I think I already tried to install WordPress before. Oh yeah, so I just want to remove it. You won't have to do this, but it's because I already used this for something else. So just hit install now. Once again, get rid of this. Go to type Richard Park. Now most of these settings you can change. You just want to save this, your admin account information. Make sure that you write it down somewhere, have it somewhere safe. And hit install, and now it should work. Yep, there we go. So it's going to install WordPress onto your host. Boom. So it has been successfully installed. If we click now, instead of getting that error, we have our website. So boom, there you go. You have your first website up and running. And we did it all in under 15 minutes. Now you have your website like this, but of course we want to make it so that we can actually sell stuff, because WordPress was first used to use for blogs. However, with a couple of simple plugins, we can easily make it so you can sell your items and even update the look of your WordPress website. So how we do that is your administrative URL. So it's always your site dash wp-admin. Just enter your admin details. So ours was the default admin, and pass. We just log in here, and this is where you'll actually edit the site. So right now what we want to do is maybe change the theme, and we also want to get a plugin so that we can actually sell items through our website. So for that, the plugin I like to use is Woocommerce, and I think it's one of the more popular one. It's probably the most popular e-commerce one on WordPress. So just look up Woocommerce. There we go. Install now. Activate the plugin. Okay, let's go. So you want to set everything up. So this will, you just want to go through all these. So this is the page setup. It'll create these pages for you. Set your location. I'm in Canada, Ontario. My currency is Canadian dollars. Yep, that looks good. Shipping and tax. Will you be, if you, depending on where you are, you want to adjust your sales tax and whatnot. Of course, you should talk to like a tax advisor or your lawyer about this. Just for the simplification, I'm just going to skip that part. And payments. Most of you guys will have a PayPal account. If you don't, it's super easy to do. And it's almost like become the internet default. Stripe is also really popular and easy to set up. I'll actually have videos that you can look to set up PayPal and Stripe accounts, but it's very, very simple and straightforward. So let's say I'm using PayPal right now. Hit continue, and it says, do you want it to blah 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 make. I'll just skip that. So we'll just create our first product. Great. So it's really that simple. Now let's put in our first product. So let's say I want to sell a let's say this print is called Denial of Self art print. This is a 11 by 17. Was that feet or inches? I'll do inches. So here you put your description. Here you can put any tags you like, so art print. And here you can actually put your image. And it's really, really simple. You just want to look through your images. Let's see, downloads. Where did I put? Here it is. So Blake Arts. Set product image. You set your price here. So let's say that the printer said that each print will cost us about $3. And we can sell them for $20. Of course, you want to do your research on however you're going to price something, but just for the sake of simplicity, we'll put $20 here. You can actually manage stock as well. So let's say you have a limited amount of these, you can just put 5. Shipping classes. I don't think we need to do that right now. Let's just preview this, see what it'll look like. It'll look like this. So we'll just publish. Now, as you can see though, it doesn't really fit the theme, right? I mean, congratulations, you do have your first actual product that someone could actually buy right now online. So if someone clicked add to cart, they could actually buy it. Well, you got to set up your PayPal first, but you've got your first item actually online on your website. Now for the theme that I like to use as just a basis, let's go to appearance and themes. It's one called a, whoops, we'll leave here. It's the Woocommerce theme. It's called Shop, I believe. Is it Shop? Let's just look it up. Woocommerce. Can't recall. I think it's called Shop. So I was wrong. It's actually Storefront. So this is the default. Oh, here we go. So this is the default WooCommerce theme. So you can just install that onto your website and activate it. Let's take a look at it. Let's go on our website, richiepark.ca, and boom, it's looking a bit more like a actual website. Now this top bar here will disappear. It's only here when you're logged into your website. If you go to shop, you can see your print and all this stuff. Now great. Now as you can see here though, it's still in this weird blog format, and let me just show you real quick how you can get rid of this stuff. So first off, we want to set a designated home page. So to do that, let me just close these tabs here. Go to customize. Give me a second. Let me close all these unnecessary tabs. We want to go to customize, and at the, nope, that's not it. I think it's, oh yeah, static front page. You want to use a static front page. Let's just use the sample page, which is a default page they give you. Whoops, we don't want anything for that. Hit save and publish. Perfect. So now we want to go back in our dashboard, go to our pages, and this is the sample page, as you can see, that we designated as the front page. We can just edit this. Let's make the title home and say, hello, welcome to our shop. As well, you notice how this page here, if we go to richiepark. Oops, this is the wrong one. richiepark.ca. If we go over here, you notice you have this widget on the side. If you want to get rid of that, where it says default template, just go to full width and hit update. And let's take a look at what that looks like now. And boom, home, welcome, hello, welcome to our shop. You've got your name, traditional art gallery, you got a shop here, you got your home, your cart. Oh, it looks like the cart's not set up yet. And checkout, it's probably not set up either because we have to link our PayPal, but we have our basic premise of our website down, and we got the shop. And this is looking good. Oh, the shop here looks like that has that widget on the side, so we can just change that as well. Now, again, WordPress is very intricate. As you can see, there's a ton of options, so you may want to spend some time to go through this and adjust the site however you want to actually make it. Just to keep this video short though, let's just finish up setting up the actual store so someone could buy the actual products right away. So first off, we want to connect your PayPal account. So click Connect PayPal, enable Express, Live. You can do Live or Sandbox. Sandbox is if you want to test things. Well, let's just say Live because we want to get that money right now. You probably do want them to require their billing address. Some people might have different billing addresses. And instant payments, I prefer them to pay right away. Now click here to set up your PayPal account. You just click there, enter your email. So I just enter my PayPal email, go next, log in. Okay, and I'm back. So I just finished setting everything up. Again, on the checkout, PayPal Express checkout, I set everything up and I just tested it. So if we go on our shop, go to add to cart, view carts, and boom, there we go. You can now check out, see your cart, and also check out, whereas before it was all blacked out. And then they put in their billing details and everything's good to go. You have your first website up and running with your first product. Now remember, again, I said before that you could be selling before you actually have your product. Well, let's say these are the prints that we know we're going to be selling. Let's go to products. We can just sell these as pre-orders. We can go to edit, let people know this is a pre-order. This is a pre-order for the prints. They will be ready by XXX, or you can type whatever. But essentially, you can start selling your product before it's ready to kind of test the market, or you can just take pre-orders to test the market, see if people will actually like to have these things. Of course, you won't have any traffic right now because we're just setting up the website. But at least now you have the website ready to go, ready to sell. You just need to get traffic on here. And it took us less than 30 minutes to set it up. So we have a full-fledged website. We have our richardpark.ca or whatever your website is. We have Woocommerce installed. We have our domain name and our hosting. And we have all this stuff ready to go. We have our shop and our first product. So again, if you had any trouble following this stuff, just go through the video again. However, I try to make it as simple as possible. And I think that's it. That's pretty much it for this video. So in the beginning, we started with signing up our domain, signing up our hosting, setting up WordPress, and then installing the Woocommerce app plugin so that we can actually start selling. So that's it for this video. You can check out the other videos which will show you Shopify and BigCartel. I hope that you were able to get your site up and running as soon as possible, and just have a great day.